Well, it's Easter, and I just, I can't get it out of my head. Just these fake holidays that they create, and it's all for marketing purposes. It's all so that we will form these traditions and, you know, be willing to give what little money we have to more of their industry, more of their corporate bullshit. You know, and that's why they have one. I mean, think about how the holidays hit and stuff. Because from what I understand, that even Jesus wasn't even born in December. He was born in September. I've heard other things. You know, and who knows? What gets kind of creepy is that the controllers are so into, like they have certain numbers and certain dates that are super important to them. And then they'll have us celebrate on those dates for that energy. Just like when I was talking about, you know, the shows that will do real spells, and they have us participating without having any knowledge of it. And they're doing a spell and invoking who knows what all. Probably more crimes against humanity. That's basically their number one go-to. So, you know, we participate in our own demise. And people are just so willing. It just boggles my mind. I can't understand why people are so willing to comply with these ridiculous rules and not think things through and just participate in. God, it's so created it's such a created environment. It's just also fake. But trying to get somebody who can't see it to see the fakeness, it's crazy. Because it is, without a doubt, there's realities splitting. Hopefully unity, we can bring them back together, but, you know, it's still out. It's like it's still out on the table. Everything is just like waiting to see how it plays out. And you know, each day that this regime has power, what more tragic things can they bring around? How many more problems can they cause for us? Sometimes, you know, the shit they do, it seems like, how will we ever clean this up? It just seems so huge. But I think the cleanup is going to be, well, I think it's going to be more fun. But I think it's going to go faster than this demise of civilization. They've been working on that quite a while. So I think that once we get everybody on the same side, it's such madness. You know, I was thinking about yesterday that it was kind of a weird thing. Was I was watching something. Yesterday was still the whole day. Turned something on. Within a few minutes, it's like, oh my God, this is so stupid. A billion times all day long, to the point where finally it was like, okay, I gotta listen to nature sounds and music. Oh, and this morning I got up, and it was pretty nice outside for early. So I went out for the sunrise. You can't actually see the sunrise because there's a mountain, but you know, you see the light come, you see the shadows turn to shapes, and it's, and all of the things that were up all night, going to sleep, and all the things that were sleeping, waking up. It's such a beautiful time early in the morning. But I was thinking about, it was something I was watching. I think there was an autistic kid, the kid on the spectrum, whatever the proper thing, as we have to say. And sometimes they'll have these kids, you know, and it's like, I wonder if this is really an autistic kid, or is this a kid pretending to be autistic? Does this kid know an autistic kid? Did he study autistic kids? Are they showing us what we're supposed to believe about this? And one thing I saw yesterday, you know that woman, she was in American Pie, I think. What's his name? His mom, they always called him, not Sadler's, but the guy's mom. She's in lots of shows. She was like in Legally Blonde. She's in lots of shows, and she has a persona that she always plays. So if she's in something, she's usually just playing this persona that she is. And I saw somebody saying something about, I don't know if people tell her that she looks like her or what, but she wanted to do everything she could to not look like her or turn into her or something. Like, I didn't watch the video. There's a whole video about it, I guess. But it just made me think again, like, how many of these caricature kind of people that they create that become like an embarrassment to people who look like them, who have similar characteristics. You know, it shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't have to be embarrassed because you look like this caricature that they've created on some show. It is, I just think it all is kind of like the same thing, you know, just to bring people down, to make you feel shame, to make you feel bad about yourself. You know, they play all these different characters in movies and turn them into just caricatures. They're not, like, when you're watching something, I mean, I don't think it's very often that I would go, oh, that person reminds me of so-and-so. I mean, most of them are just like cartoons being played by people. And that is the thing too, is because I think that there is, there's people who genuinely like to, you know, play characters and create characters and have fun doing it. And it should be fun. I mean, they cross the line with this programming and the agendas and bullshit like that. But, you know, that should be part of creating, you know, a funny character or whatever. And, oh, and it was an ad that popped up, and it was for Richard Pryor movie. And it was, I think it was that black guy who was on Saturday Night Live. Oh, no, it was a black guy that I recognized that was going to play him. And when I saw the picture, I was like, man, that guy really looks like him. But it made me think again, like, you know, I bet you that there is some white guys or Asian guys or, you know, all different guys that really loved Richard Pryor, but then they're told that they can't play him because their skin color doesn't match. And I don't know, it just really, I was thinking, you know, that's really ridiculous when they sit there and say, okay, like there was a huge thing about this person. I gotta turn this heater thing off. Man, it's weird because it just suddenly becomes like freaking boiling hot. You know, like there was some kind of a thing going on before where there was a movie about a trans person or something, but they wouldn't let a straight person play him. It could only be a trans person. So, okay, if we're going to go on that idea, then shouldn't only trans people play themselves in movies? Only a Down syndrome kid is allowed to play themselves. They can't play outside of that. Like, well, you know, certain ones, there's restrictions. But, you know, a trans woman shouldn't be able to allow to play a real woman, right? Like in their rules, if the rules were going to be real, if the rules were going to be fair for everyone, not always just trying to shame us into compliance and obedience and coming up with these ridiculous fucking things. Just the thing with the blackface thing, you know, like when I was younger, I saw lots of movies where there was a character who was playing a black person and put black on their face. And then throughout time, I mean, different actors did it. And then all of a sudden it became like, oh my gosh, that is so rude. That's so racist. But really, is it? I mean, didn't what are those brothers called? They were on the In Living Color. Shoot, I can't think of their names. But didn't they play white chicks? You know, didn't they put on white face and white makeup? Isn't there a lot of people who are putting on these fucking masks to look like someone else? Like, couldn't a white guy play Richard Pryor and put on a black mask? I mean, where are their rules? Like, they just come at you all of a sudden like, oh, that's a rule. And then we all are like, wait, you know, okay, we better not do that again. And then it is like, but the rules are constantly just shifting so that they always come out ahead. And we always come out feeling stupid or shamed or canceled or whatever. But, you know, I don't get it. I remember there was another thing I had seen, and it was a big deal about this white woman to play an Asian woman. Like, how dare her? But if your whole skill is to try and transform yourself and play these different characters and bring them to life, then, I mean, they put on makeup in movies. I mean, it's all an illusion. I was talking yesterday about that woman, a young girl on her YouTube thing who does these makeup on her own face, and she looks like totally different people. It's crazy. I mean, it was enough before when I had seen the ones that there are so many girls, you know, that wear tons of makeup. Like, they do all these like highlighters and dark things and all sorts of stuff. Like, they can make themselves look so different. And then this one I saw was this girl, and it was a TikTok, I think. And she kept switching. Her face would go like regular, and then it would switch into this other, totally did not even look like the same person at all. Oh my God. But she said, you know, if you think her makeup is an illusion, that's on you, because women don't have cat eye makeup attached to their face or something. It's like, yeah, but I think that most people, most men especially, because I'd heard this so many times for so long of, you know, men, especially back in the 80s and 90s, men would go pick up women at a bar, go home with them, you know, they're both drunk. They go home, have sex, and then he gets up and her face is on the pillow. And, you know, when she sits up, it's a totally different face. She doesn't have the same face. It's all left on the pillow. And, you know, they would just be like, you know, who the hell are you? I've heard the stories so many times of like, oh my gosh, you know, it was a totally different person. But now the makeup is even so much more extreme, the illusion. And, yeah, it's shocking. But, you know, back to the movies and stuff, it's like, you know, the movie has created an illusion, and why does it matter what color your skin or how you see yourself or whatever? Why can't you just play whoever? You know, back in when Shakespeare was doing his plays, men played women. And, you know, I don't know if women weren't allowed to be in public or what the fuck, why. I don't know all the history, but I know that before they would have men playing women. And I just don't see, there's something weird about it, that you just can't play whoever. Just to, you know, for your own skills, just to see how you do, or if you can. And I don't know, there's just so much seriousness and so much it's like too much weight put on things. You know, things should be a lot more about fun and experience, and not all this judgment and just ridicule and bringing people down. It should be about acceptance and having fun and creating, you know. And I know we're moving into that, and I know that a lot of the stuff that I notice is just because, you know, it's making itself so clear. It's making itself right out there for us all to see, so that we can watch it burn to the ground. You know, just that whole thing with, you know, this, there's things you just can't talk about. So, you know, just can't talk about it. But, you know, I think that we're going to get back to, you know, outdoor theater kind of thing. I've been wondering, you know, what is even going to happen to movies? Because movies is all, and shows, that was all, you know, part of the branch of the CIA to program us and to indoctrinate us and to, you know, create idols so that we would worship these people, and we would do whatever these people said. And then they would force these people to do or say whatever if they wanted to work again or whatever, all the weird shit. But now for the corporations to be ending and all of that, I just wonder, like, you know, maybe movies are going to be a thing of the past, like 8-track tapes, you know. Maybe people are going to be way more into going back and, you know, watching people perform in parks and going and listening to live music and, you know, watching people paint on the boardwalk and, you know, going into experience rather than, you know, sit here and be supposedly entertained. It's not entertainment. It's really just programming. And it is just, I see it all the time, how much it's just beat people down. And it creates problems. It creates, like, a certain thing can happen, and then you think that this outcome is going to be this certain way because you saw it in a movie. So this is how it's going to go, you know? Like, they do something to fuck with our heads. And what is even crazier is, I think that it has something to do with, like, there's certain things that make us feel good as human beings. Unity and connection and helping one another and, you know, feeling a part of something. That is, makes us feel good in our soul. You know, just with social media, we've seen what that has done, like, to the youth, with this no connection, no empathy, no, you know, they just don't have that connection. And then this whole movement of, you know, you can't hurt anybody's feelings. Jesus Christ. You know, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, I may have talked about this before, but I had a horrible, horrible complexion. My face was so oily, and it just broke out all the time. And I had these from here. This was huge cheeks. I had giant cheeks, tons of zits. And I go through my teenage years like that. Crazy home life. It's like, when you have a crazy home life, you feel like it is like everywhere you're walking, it is like a billboard across your chest that's lighting up. That's what you feel like. Everyone knows Everyone knows. Nobody's even thinking about what your deal is. Nobody even cares. You know, everybody's so focused on themselves. They're not thinking about you. But, you know, going around with my face broken out all the time in a very hard time in life, you know, when you're a teenager and, you know, kids are mean. And I just think it built something else in me. It made me find strength in myself. Like, going through those things helped me find my own sound structure, my own, it's my own comfort inside myself, you know? And I think that people who don't want to ever hear anything, they're missing out on that. You know, there's nothing wrong with hearing. I mean, there's a point of, you know, we don't need people being mean. Like, you know, I'm not going to put up with someone calling me a liar every time I talk to them. You know, so, you know, there's certain lines, but also, there's too many. Like they've made it too, you know, I mean, it's bizarre how many things that we have to be careful over how we say it and what we say it. Like the whole thing was saying a person from Asia. I swear to God, I said that recently and somebody told me that how offensive. It was like, but isn't that a continent where all of these different people are from? And isn't that where like China and Japan, Korea, you know, a whole bunch of places over there? Because, you know, if you are, this is from what I've understood from people I've known, like if you are Chinese and somebody calls you Vietnamese, it's, you know, like they all know, they can tell, like by a smaller differences in their faces and stuff like that, things that we don't have an awareness of because we live over here. We don't live over there. We aren't, you know, tuned in to these little things. But I just was like, I just don't understand. How is that? I mean, wouldn't it be more offensive if I was calling a Chinese person Japanese or being just like, you know, I don't know. Asian makes the most sense to me, but I'm sure somebody will tell me why it's offensive. Because that's how it is. Everybody's offended by something. And I just think, you know, toughen up. Don't be a little pansy bitch. Don't fall apart if somebody looks at you wrong. You know, you don't have to put up with bullshit. You know, set your standards. But don't be, you know, so weak that every little thing is going to put you into tears. You know, you've got to build some like strength to your structure. You got to build some foundation to what's going to hold you up. You know, and if you've been dependent on these systems and all these lies to help you create this persona that you have created, set up in these structures and these paradigms, then you got a weak foundation to begin with. You know, because it's all bullshit. There's nothing real about it. So, you know, just, I don't know. Those are just the things I've been thinking about, my thoughts of the day. And, you know, I hope that everybody has a great Easter. Have a great day. Bye.